Welcome to the Motocross Supercross podcast. Podcast.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Motocross Supercross podcast.
Episode 176. Round 7 of the Monster Energy Supercross series is in the book. I'm Adam, here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
Yo. Well, we were wrong.
Yes, but at the same time, Dallas or Arlington, we still never figured out what to call it.
AT&T.
That's right, we did figure out. AT&T. It did not disappoint at all. We're going to be breaking down the 250s this episode. This was only their second race of the season, but wow, it was one of my favorite, definitely the best race so far.
on the East
definitely
Coast?
one of my favorite races.
Favorite race on the East Coast?
I do like this track though. I like I just like the color of the dirt. I just like the way, it just looked awesome.
Yeah.
And the racing was good. And we saw some really cool stuff happen, especially with like Austin Faulkner, Jordan Smith, that battle we've all been waiting to see. We got to see it. But it was in the heat race.
No, it was good. It was definitely a good race. We were wrong, me and you, but overall, it was a great race. But a lot of things happened, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Hey, and by the way, about being wrong, like I wasn't really that wrong. I got some things right. So, and definitely would have had more right in the 450s. But we'll jump into all that. But let's start off this Dallas race with the qualifying times. And this qualifying practice, it was a little interesting. There was some big moments because Austin Faulkner had like a pretty big crash in practice in the rhythm section there. It
was a little weird and definitely off for him, especially how well he's riding. It was a very stupid mistake that could have cost him a lot more than what it did.
Yeah, he hit that jump and just kind of like drifted way right, and then actually landed on like a tough block and just kind of went flying. So he was able to get back up. His bike sparked a little bit as it skidded across the pavement, but he was able to get back up, didn't get hurt, and, learn from your mistakes, I guess. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
So that was like the biggest moment, I would say, but also we had the fastest lap time too, combined lap time out of all the 250 guys, and Justin Cooper had the second fastest. Martin Davalos had that third fastest time. Chase Sexton with the fourth fastest, and then the person we picked to win this race, Jordan Smith, fifth fastest lap time.
Yeah, this is qualifying.
Not where we expected to see him.
This is just for a gate pick, man. You can't really go from here or from this. Although Austin Faulkner already making a perfect night, just starting with fastest lap time just like he did last week, and just keeping that momentum and looking really good for sure. Another really cool detail, I don't know if you saw it, but in practice, the pro circuit team, Faulkner and Davalos, so you know how they had that Fox gear?
Yeah.
And like the little wolf or the little fox, I should say, for the represents the O. On Faulkner's, the eyes were red, and then on Davalos, the eyes weren't red.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was so cool, but that was only in practice. Whenever they did the race at night, they both had the red eyes, and I was like, that would have been cool though. Like that was a cool little like detail, from the gear.
I figured Faulkner would have it because he's got the red plate, give it just to him.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I took it, that's cool. Like, that's showing, like, just how he had, like, the butt patch that said the Punisher or whatever.
Punisher.
Like, that was cool that he had, like, just, like, the little detail on the gear to represent he had that red plate. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was only on qualifying, though. Once the night show came, they both had red eyes.
One other detail to talk about with this track was that big sweeping turn that we thought was going to be flat, almost like a dirt track, kind of Harley whatever turn. They like put the rollers in it, so it wasn't really much of a flat turn. It was like they had these roller sections in the middle of it. Yeah,
they had the roller section there, and then also for qualifying times they had like a little triple, like 3 bumps in front of the finish line. And for the night show, it was like a little double. It was
double.
Just 2.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I did notice that.
Yeah, but they had to slow down that track because the lap times, like you said, Austin Faulkner with a 50.1.
Yeah.
They were fast. And I feel like that's the problem that they've been having the last couple of rounds, that the laps are really, really fast. And it makes for a lot of laps.
Yeah, it was just that is a problem I think they are struggling with this year, is just keeping these laps long. They've been really short the past couple weeks.
Yeah, but jump into this heat number 1, bro. 250. We have Oldenburg with a whole shot, although I feel like Cooper looked like had it. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but it was a little tricky. That whole shot that they had, it was a little tricky. It messed with me all night.
Yeah, and actually another person, like Jordan Bailey, had a great jump. I thought he was going to get it too, but he went like way too far wide.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did see both those Yamaha guys, Mitchell Oldenburg, who we talked about in our last episode, saying he might show up big. And Justin Cooper right behind him, the kid.
The kid, yep.
And also someone else who was up there, actually Marshall Welton, made like kind of a fast pass on Bailey. And we talked about him a long time ago because Brock Tickle is his trainer. Just a little refresher there. So
Yeah.
Also behind him was Alex Martin was up there. Chase Sexton was up there. Everyone you would expect to be up there. Ramy and Lorenzo were actually in this race too. They were running like 10th and 11th again, like just outside that top 9.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I saw that. And but yeah, the Yamaha guys up front, quick. Like you mentioned, Welton was battling with Martin, who was trying to make a pass on him. But once like Martin got through Welton, then he got passed by Sexton. Pretty much in the same section. Like he lost 2 positions right there. And I don't know if you saw this too, but Alex Martin, bro, did you see how close he got to those tough blocks when he made that pass?
Oh yeah, he definitely took out the camera. That was on those tough blocks. Like he almost did what Faulkner did in the qualifying.
Yeah.
But he saved it somehow.
But I looked at that.
Also, Kyle Cunningham, he crashed on that first lap too. He was, if you remember from last week, he made the last lap pass on Martin. So for him, starting off this week, not real great, crashing in the corner.
Yeah,
Nothing
exactly.
Serious,
he went down with a mistake who put him outside the qualifying positions for that main event, and he was going to have to go to LCQ as of right now. Marshall Welton, definitely the topic of this heat. I feel like once the Yamaha guys were up front, there wasn't really much of battles besides the Marshall Welton getting passed by Martin, Sexton, Bailey. Yeah, it was pretty cool, but good for him. He got a nice little start and he got him up front, and they keep saying that, and I feel like it's really funny. David Bulleman actually made a good comment about this. He said, stop saying that you need a good start. You just need to win races. Just fight to the end. And if you know what I mean, wink, wink. But
I know what you mean.
But yeah, so it was definitely, there was nothing here. Mitchell Oldenburg got the win, his first win of the season for a heat race, followed by Justin Cooper, his teammate, who's looking really good. And for my next picks, he's definitely going to be up there. Alex Martin got 3rd, Chase Sexton in 4th, Jordan Bailey 5th, Marshall Welton, who, like I said, he was like the topic of this heat, got 6th. John Short in 7th. Cade Ontarinieth, another one who we didn't really talk about, but he got a really good start, and he ended up getting 8th. Lorenzo Lacuzio ended up getting that pass and almost getting passed by Cunningham because he was making a comeback.
But yeah, like we said, Kyle Cunningham, when he fell on that first lap, that was the other battle that was happening this race. He just had to work his way up. But yeah, good for Lorenzo making it in. And Chase Sexton, this is the only race he's had so far where he hasn't crashed, so good for him. But he did get close. His handlebar or his foot peg drug up the face of that wall jump, so he did get close, but he didn't. So it's a good race for him. Same kind of thing in Heat 2. There was only like a couple really notable things to talk about. Obviously, Austin Faulkner got the whole shot, and Jordan Smith was behind him with Davalos, and it was just like, all right, this is the battle everyone's been waiting to see. Are
you sure that Faulkner got the whole shot? I feel like Smith got the whole shot. See, that's what I'm saying.
It was really close. It was definitely close, but Faulkner got the whole shot. And then a couple turns later, he just like went too high in that bull turn, and then Jordan Smith took the lead from him for a little bit. But yeah, it doesn't really matter because Faulkner was able to pass him back, and Faulkner is just like, he's the man, bro. He's the next Carmichael, I feel. He's Carmichael in the making. Little Carmichael.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, he almost went down. He saves it. He comes back up, almost goes down again. He looked a little bit out of control, but Davalos was right there, who also had a pretty good heat, I believe. I said he had to step it up, and he did. He definitely did. He looked really good.
Yeah, the other kind of battle that was happening was Kyle Peters, like in the like off the start, he was like mid pack, and he just like got super sketchy. He didn't crash, but he kind of had to work his way up through the pack too. So he was another one who was passing, and also A-Rod, Anthony Rodriguez was in this race, who didn't race last week and showed up this week, and he looked pretty good.
Yeah, I wonder if because Geico, they need a rider, a 250 rider, so that could be a good opportunity for one of these privateers trying to make it in or whatnot. And Anthony definitely looked good. But yeah, pretty much Forker and Smith battling out all the way, and then also that four-way battle for the last spot between Osby and Rodriguez and Cartwright. It was a nice little aggressive move by Cartwright for 6th place, and Rodriguez also took advantage of that and ended up getting that 7th spot. But yeah, Forkner won this second heat, no doubt. Jordan Smith in 2nd, Martin Davalos in 3rd. Blake Wharton, very nice for him with a 4th place. Maybe they'll call him.
Yeah, maybe.
Kyle Peters in 5th, Joshua Osby in 6th, Rodriguez in 7th, Brendan Hentraft in 8th, and then Joshua Cartwright getting that 9th spot. Then everybody else going to the LCQ.
That's right, including Scuba Steve.
Yeah, almost making it right there. Yeah, he got shoved in the last couple laps, and he got 10th place. Also, Rockstar Husqvarna, Thomas Covington.
That's right.
Also going to the LCQ.
That's right. I was just about to say that. So yeah, let's jump into this LCQ. We had a whole shot by TJ Albright and Thomas Covington, who we just talked about, right behind him in 2nd. Ricky's pretty pumped because both of those guys train at the goat farm. So a little bias cheering right there. And Scuba Steve, he made the move for 2nd, and he actually started like battle for the lead for a little bit. Our boy Ramy, he's in this. He started off in like 5th, and then he was working his way through the pack. He went to like 4th, and too bad Covington, actually, Thomas Covington, he dropped out. I'm not sure 100% what happened to him, but you just saw his name tag just...
Yeah, he got passed by everyone is probably the easiest way to say this.
Yeah, that is the easiest way. He definitely dropped out of the top 4. Cunningham, who just missed it in that heat race, he was working his way up, and he actually passed Scuba Steve in the whoops. Looked really good. He just looked way better than everybody else did, obviously. And then, like, the real battle of this race was Jace Pennington and TJ Albright. They had a really intense battle for that final spot there. And Pennington on that CTR team, the Club Traders MX, he was just coming up on the inside of TJ Albright, and he was going to slam him, take him high, but he ended up falling. And TJ Albright didn't fall. He got a little sketchy, but he was able to finish the race and get that final spot. But Jace Pennington, he went for it, and it just didn't work out for him this race.
Yeah, which is something that we're going to have to talk about in the 450.
Oh, yeah.
Something happened. But yeah, Kyle Cunningham ended up getting the win on this one. Ramy Alves in 2nd place, which is awesome, making it to the night show. Stephen Clark in 3rd, and then that last and 4th spot for TJ Albright.
Yeah, so pretty good race it was. I felt like all the races had like really close racing the whole time. And that's why I like this race so much. Everybody ran pretty close. So
yeah, it was good.
So let's get into the 250 main. Kyle Peters, who we talked about, he actually like got the whole shot. Got the credit for it.
This one was clear.
Yeah. He made it through this one. He wasn't mid-pack banging bars with everyone. He was actually out front in this one, just crossing that line first. But it didn't take long, obviously, for Forkner to jump out front as he does. Just what he does now.
Yeah, it was quick, exactly. Sexton was right there. Justin Cooper was right there. Jordan Smith was right there. Smith, who takes the pass on Cooper for 4th place, and definitely, he tries to move up because he can't let Forkner just go, man. And like you said, Forkner just made that pass on Kyle Peters, and he was gone. Sexton, Cooper, and Smith get the pass on Peters as well. Oldenburg colliding with Alex Martin. And Alex Martin goes down.
Yeah, he fell way back. He went all the way back to 14th after that.
He did a hell of a race. Peters, he got passed again by Martin Davalos and by Mitchell Oldenburg. Peters, it was like the same thing like Covington. He just kind of like just started going back. Like you said, Martin all the way back in 14th, but he was making passes and he was already in like 11th, just making passes for 11th place. Chase Sexton with a mistake that finally let Jordan Smith goes by and gets second place from him.
Yeah, he stalls his bike. Come on, man. Keep the bike running. Don't stall.
Yeah, and then he starts battling with Cooper for third. Yeah, then Sexton again with another mistake and finally loses the position to Cooper. So he put up a good battle both times to Smith and Cooper. You know, mistakes just cost him, and it kind of sucks because he looks good actually.
Yeah. And also, speaking of mistakes, Blake Wharton, he was running up in that top 10, and next thing you know, you see his name tag dropping, and he goes all the way to like 21st.
Yeah, I saw that. That kind of sucks too. I was pumped for Blake Wharton. I actually picked him for my fantasy.
Oh, so that was not a good move then this week.
No, it was a horrible night for fantasy for me. I don't want to talk about it, but
Blake Wharton, he, like I said, he fell to 21st, and he's only in front of one rider.
Yeah.
Ramy
poor
Alves.
Ramy.
Yeah, poor Ramy. It turns out he had some bike problems and wasn't able to finish the race. But he was up, I want to say he was up to like 16th or something before whenever that happened.
He was looking really good. Meanwhile, Jordan Smith goes down after closing the gap on Faulkner. Jordan Smith was actually making a comeback. He was closing the gap. Like he got it like down to like less than 2 seconds. Like they could see each other the whole time.
Yeah.
Until he went down. I don't know what happened to him, but he didn't look in a rush to get back on the bike. Like he just started to lose positions. You know, he got Sexton and Cooper who went by him, and he finally got back on. Ended up getting fourth, but Austin Faulkner again with another perfect night,
dude.
From start to finish, from qualifying all the way to the last lap of the main event, and great for him for sure. It's a dominating. He's dominating.
Oh yeah, and speaking of that domination, last lap madness where he like did the whole little number one-handed. Like not only did he hit the finish line jump one-handed, like he did that whole section like one-handed. I was just like, he's just a badass, you know?
Yeah, he looked really good. 2 races, 2 perfect nights, total domination by Austin Faulkner. Congratulations on your second win and keeping the red plate. Justin Cooper got second. Another great race. And like I said, he's going to be on my top 3 next weekend.
I picked him to get second.
Sexton.
I picked him to get second, and he got second.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing we got right. Chase Sexton got third. Jordan Smith, who we talked about, got fourth. Martin Davalos in fifth. Probably not where he should be. Mitchell Oldenburg, after getting that heat win, he got sixth. Kyle Peters, after that whole shot, dropped all the way down to seventh. Alex Martin, make it up all the way up to eighth.
Yeah.
Brandon Hartranft in ninth. Kyle Cunningham in 10th. A-Rod or Anthony Rodriguez in 11th. Jordan Bailey, probably not where he should be either, in 12th place. Josh Osby in 13th. Lorenzo Lacurcio in 14th. John Short in 15th. Joshua Cartwright in 16th. Marshall Welton in 18th, or 17th, sorry. Scuba Steve in 18th. TJ Albright in 19th. Kate Onthreath in 20th. And like we said, Blake Wharton in 21st with Ramy in 22nd.
Yeah, it was just a great night. Obviously, the more intense racing happened in the 450s, which we're going to be breaking down in our next episode. But Austin Faulkner, he's our points leader again going into Detroit. He is 8 points up on Justin Cooper, who's in second. Jordan Smith.
Triple crown, too.
That's right. Jordan Smith is in third. Chase Sexton in fourth. Alex Martin in fifth. And that's your points. It's still pretty close, but Austin Faulkner with that 8-point gap on everyone else, he looks like he's starting to pull away. So if he wins this Triple Crown in Detroit, I'm going to start just saying it's over. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that, see if anybody can challenge him or see if maybe he makes all these little mistakes. So you never know if he's just going to make one that actually costs him. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
Yeah, I think he's definitely dominating, but somebody's going to step up, and I don't know. We'll just stay tuned for our 450 recap. Also, check out our Instagram, MXSX Podcast. Some new stuff we're putting up. There's going to be also a giveaway soon, and just stay tuned.
That's right. See you guys next time for the 450s. Peace.